all my fellow risers. I'm in the office here. Got my feet up on the tabs. So today we're gonna do this quick. We're gonna do a 5-minute video. Finished editing everything up until November 17th, which I had actually already edited, but I just went back through it basically and worked on it some more. Cool. So I was doing that in the office, and then there's a guy that came by who used to work here, and so sometimes he does some gardening. So he came by and he hung out in the office for a little bit, and then said he was going to do gardening. So I asked him, "Hey, do you want a hand?" And he said no. And then later he came by again after he had already started working, and I said, "Hey, do you want a hand?" He said, "No, I'm almost done." And then I went over there for another reason, so that I could get a signal for something. And he waves me over, and so I started doing this digging process. What's funny though is that I got to this one area where there's a lot of little pebbles, and I don't know anything about gardening. And so I say to the guy, is it even going to be possible to plant here? And he says, actually, rocks sometimes can be good. Now, I had been taking rocks out. Anytime I found a rock, I was throwing the wheelbarrow. He had told me to, when he saw me picking up the rocks, he told me to, because I was just putting them right next to where we were working, and he told me to put them farther away because it would be easier when we clean up. Or at least that's what I thought he said. And then later he said to put them in the wheelbarrow. So he was very well aware, and we had talked about the rocks thing. And anyway, so there are these pebbles, and he says, well, actually, rocks can sometimes be good. Sometimes it's good to take them out, but sometimes, it's good to leave them because it helps aerate the soil or something. So of course I have to now wonder, is this a kind of soft speech where really he doesn't want me to take any more rocks out? Because this is a lot of rocks. These are a lot of pebbles. And if this is okay, then I probably didn't need to be taking out any rocks earlier when there were just, a few. So I'm thinking about that and trying to figure out what he means, and I'm frustrated. Huh? Because I wish he had just said the truth. And maybe he did, but I wish that was the standard way to communicate, because that's what we have in common. Common ground. We have the truth. We don't need to have these different communication styles. People say I have a different communication style, whatever. I just say what I think the truth is in any given moment. And it's difficult when you don't know how direct someone is, because you don't know them very well, and so you don't know whether what they're saying, sort of how you have to interpret it and so on. And then I say, by the way, hey, if there's anything that you want to point out that I'm doing, anything I can be doing better, please let me know so that I can, He goes, no, you're doing perfect. You're doing perfect. And one thing we did bond over was how much we dislike Sada. Because this guy apparently is like a real tough guy. You wouldn't know it from the soft speech, but he likes a good fight. So then at some point I'm digging, he says, oh, by the way, for the big rocks, don't worry about them. The deep ones. And so I have to try to interpret, what does he mean by that? I go, oh, are you saying I'm digging too deep? He goes, well, yeah, you probably don't need to dig as deep. Well, whatever. I don't remember how he said it. So that was really funny and frustrating, because indeed he was soft speaking, and so I had to work on interpreting that and all that stuff. What's funny is that at one point Julien and I were we were talking, being a little philosophical, and Franck goes, oh, he's been annoying the shit out of me lately. And he was working in the garden, and it's funny because, remember, he was the one who said he has no time to smoke weed because he has too much to do and stuff. And I go, well, it's not that you have too much to do, it's just that your stuff doesn't really. Wow, 420. Wow, that's cool. And because Julien's always talking about when was Napoleon born, and Napoleon was born on 420, and I just put it together later because Julien, he hates when we smoke the booze loof. Anyway, and so it was funny that, and then Franck is gardening while he's saying, oh, philosophy, blah, blah. And because I had said the other day about, that, I was like, it's not that you have too much to do and you can't smoke, so that your things just don't require the same sort of creative energies. And when he said, I don't need to be creative, and then he goes, well, how did I do a garden then? Oh, we do not naturally know moral or objective truths. We should be more lenient with people, just like we don't have the objective understanding of reality in our hearts and souls. We don't just naturally know what's right. And so David Dobrik got into trouble recently. Can we all just chill out a little bit? Like, sometimes we rely on our instincts. You can't tell me, if you're religious, you can't criticize David Dobrik, because your being religious is your reliance on your instincts. And when he behaved, his instincts didn't tell him there's anything wrong with whatever he was doing. He's just having fun. That's how he makes his living. He just has fun. He's himself and so on. So, anyway.
Karima Mera. Mrs. Karima.